Good evening and welcome back to the Final Flight podcast. Yep, it's myself, James, and Rich are here, and it's the Cheltenham Showcase meeting. Finally, racing back at Cheltenham. Rich, I'm very much excited for it, so hopefully we'll get through some good racing and pick some nice winners. Joe is joining us tonight, or he's trying to, at least. He's obviously working away and he's struggling a little bit to sort his camera out and things, but he's going to try and get on tonight and finally make his first appearance of the season. I know there's a lot of people literally only tuning in for Joe. So don't worry, guys. He is going to try and come on. And he's literally trying his heart out. So fingers crossed he'll get on. So we're going to crack on while we wait for him. Rich, obviously, mate, Cheltenham is back, racing back at the place where it all started. Are you looking forward to some Cheltenham jumps action?
Yeah, you know, it's the home of jumps racing. So it's good to have it back, and yeah, there's some nice horses on show, and finally some decent races to get stuck into.
Yeah, I mean, obviously last weekend was a little bit of a shit show, really, wasn't it? There was jumps meetings called off. I mean, Ascot wasn't too bad. Champions Day were steady away, I suppose, but yeah, it was a little bit of a nothing weekend. We've had a decent weeks punting through the week between us. And we're hitting a little bit of form now, ready to crack into this really good weekend. Obviously, we're going to do the Cheltenham Showcase meeting where we're going to do 3 races from tomorrow and 4 races, I think it was, or 5 races on the Saturday. And then we're going to have a little look at the Old Roan at Aintree, because obviously Aintree returns as well. And hopefully we can pick some of the winners out. The ground is currently around good to soft, I think it was. So it's looking like decent ground, which is going to make it a little bit interesting, I think. But no doubt we'll be able to find these winners, and we're going to crack straight on. Obviously, if you're in the chat and you're watching, we do appreciate it. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you've got any comments or any of your own picks, don't be afraid to throw them in. We like to have a chinwag about them all. So, yeah, it's good to get the conversation going. Right then, without further ado, mate, we're going to kick off on Friday, which is tomorrow, and it's the 150. And it's the Novice Chase. Yeah. I'm going to start with a small field and odds-on favourite, Rich. Don't we just love it? So Cromwell obviously won this race last year, I believe, with what's his name?
My mate
Mozzie. Yeah, so he sends a decent team over to this meeting. You know, he has done lately. He had a couple of winners last year in a couple of decent places. So my mate Mozzie won it for him last year. He's got Pat Duru in here. He's a horse that we've all got a little bit of history with, I think, over the last season. He's currently in at 10 to 11 on now. Pretty warm favourite. San Salvador's in here for Joseph O'Brien. You have got She Could Be Anything in here for Gordon Elliott, but she obviously run today over in Ireland, so she'll probably come out. And Jazzy Matt is in here for the Cian Collins team. And then you've got Noble Anthem at a massive 50 to 1, bringing up the rear. So, Rich, kick us off, mate. Racing back at Cheltenham. Are you just piling into the favourite? Is it a little bit of one of them where he's just going to win?
I mean, there's not a lot in this race, is there? I mean, I know Path de Rue is still a maiden over fences, but he's been running some decent races. I mean, he finished 4th, I think, in the Grand Annual in March. So I think his form is fairly decent. I mean, he's the highest rated. The closest to him is 136 in San Salvador. But I just think this is a perfect opportunity to finally get his win over fences. I mean, my mate Mozzie won it last year off 4 to 7. And it's just a carbon copy of Cromwell sending over a decent one. It's going to be go off odds on, no doubt. And yeah, I just think he wins. You know, I just think even though he's not won over fences, I just think he is still the better horse in this company. So his time is tomorrow.
Yeah, it looks like. I mean, I remember the day. It was Leopardstown, wasn't it? Yeah, just got it in my notes here. Leopardstown, where he was coming to win that race, and he smashed the last or the second last. One of them. Because Thingy were on him, wasn't he? Sean Flanagan, we had him on the show, didn't we, after? Yeah, that was unlucky. But I think he probably just wins this. I did quite like that Jazzy Matty, but he's in here under a penalty after winning last time out. So he's rated, £11 off, and he's got to give weight away. So he's got literally no chance, probably. So I think like last year, my mate Mozzie won this. If you remember the ride, I mean, it was like walked past them, didn't he? So yeah, I think Keith Donohue's and the Cromwells are going to get themselves off to a winning start. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Gonford saying, because I don't really see the others getting anywhere near him, to be honest. So yeah, probably go off a lot shorter than 10 to 11. So that'll be a nice little muggy win for us all to kick off the meeting. I'll take that all day long. Right then, moving on to the 225. Now, this is a very good race, a very good handicap that I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into here, Rich. We love handicap chases, don't we? This is the bread and butter, whatever they call it, the nitty gritty. There, we have to find these winners. So yeah, it's handicap chase over 2 mile. You got Matata in here as favourite with the old DJ on board, the old Jacob. Calico in here for the Skeletons, dancing on my own, last year's winner for the De Bromhead team. Triple Trade, who was second in it last year, is also in here, and then sort of 8-1 bigger the rest. Which way have you landed on this then, mate? Which way have you gone?
For me, it's between Matata and Calico. I mean, I do like Triple Trade, but I just think he's got other targets. I mean, he won at the November meeting last year. This potentially, I think, is going to be a prep run. Yeah, Matata, I think we had Jacob on last season. I think he said he was a quite difficult ride. I mean, he's a very quirky horse. I think I backed him a couple of times where he just looked like the winner, and then all of a sudden threw his toys out the pram and yeah, he gets beat. But he finished 4th in the Arkle. His best form has been first time out, so potentially this is the time to get on him before he starts going a bit whoopy and crazy throughout the season. But I think out the two, I'd probably sway with Calico. I think he is still about 5-1. It's a bit of a muggy each way sort of play. But it's a horse I backed a few times. He finished second to Triple Trade in the November meeting. I think he gave him about £9 that day. He's only got to give him £2 away tomorrow. So I think he's definitely going to reverse that sort of form. His record fresh is pretty decent. And, Skeleton likes to target a decent pot, and this is worth 50 grand. I think he's £1 lower than when he finished second to Triple Trade. So I think he's got a good chance tomorrow. But yeah, I think it's between the first two, and I'll probably take a muggy each way play on Calico.
Yeah, I might have to start going first, to be honest with you, mate, because you just read my notes pretty much. I'm all on Calico. I think, like you say there, the form ties in with Triple Trade. I think it is. He's £6 better off after that second last time out. Obviously, Triple Trade comes second in this last year to that dancing on my own. He is a couple of pounds worse off from when he running it last year. And I think, like you said there, he's obviously got a good... he's going to go well fresh. He comes second in that race to Triple Trade at the November meeting, and probably a little bit unlucky. I think if Harry maybe had it back, he could maybe do it a little bit different, just hold on to him a little bit longer. But yeah, I think as an each way bet, I mean, I've backed him 5-1. I think it's a fantastic each way bet. I think there's a couple in here with a lot to maybe answer for, and yeah, I think dancing on my own, obviously off top weight, might find it tougher this time. And I think, like you say there, I agree. Calico should really reverse that form with Triple Trade, and with them, I think it's between them three. I'm going to stick with Calico. I think Matata, obviously, we spoke to George Eggle, like I said, is a little bit of a quirky ride. You don't really know what he's going to be like first time out. But yeah, he's got decent form there, and I think he's got a great chance of finally getting his head in front for a decent pot. Let's have a look at here. So Tom's jumping on. Good evening, Tom, mates. But Calico just doesn't win races, though, does he? Yeah, I do kind of get what you're saying there, but I think he's the play, and we'll hopefully see if it actually comes to fruition. James is on. Good evening, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Calico agreed. Loves a nice pot, does Skeleton. Yeah, I mean, after what happened last year with Trainer's title, I think he's going to be trying to... I mean, obviously, they're always trying to target the big pots and stuff like that, but you could probably say maybe started a little bit slow, I thought, but the last sort of week, I think he's hit a fair few winners. They had a treble the other day. So you could say that the bubble into the surface at just the right time to catch a
Well,
few.
Nichols isn't running very well, is he? So he might as well take advantage and try and get as much money as he can early
Well,
doors.
Chuffy Nichols has started like a complete lead balloon, hasn't he? I mean, I can't believe there's still people. I mean, I know he's had an odd winner or two here or there, but most of his string first time out have been pretty, looking pretty knackered, let's say, to say the least. But yeah, Tom just just going back to it first. I'm finding it hard to bet Pat Duro odds on, to be honest. I agree with that, mate, to be honest. I mean,
He's more
10
of
to
a
11,
multiple sort of bet into you stick him in.
you know, I'll probably just
In the
leave
middle.
it. And maybe chuck it in a multi as a bit of fun. Do you know what I mean? But it's not much of a betting properties. You know, it's put Scarface each way. I bet 4 places on Scar. Yeah, nice pick, mate. Who's that? The Joe Tizard team. Yep, you know they always like to get a good one ready. So yeah, so that's Calico for us both then. Nice, Rich. I like it. One more comment here by Tom. How about Johnny Who today, guys? Drifted out and won on the bridle. Yeah, again. I mean, there were a couple today. I know that Lamaresque as well drifted out, didn't it? I didn't have Johnny Who in the double, but I had Maresca and that Nickel Force, who we mentioned on the previous show, but obviously it got called off. Yeah, pretty impressive, I thought. What's he beat? Not too sure, but you couldn't have done it any easier, could you, Rich?
No, he's very good. I know. I always remember when it was it Captain Teague race where I think he was staying on for 4th. I think he's always been a decent horse, and I think Fences is going to be his game, and I do like a JP winner, so happy days.
Certainly do like a JP winner. Max is on. Good evening, Max, mates. But Stage Star's interesting. They're always best fresh for Nichols and at the weights. Yeah, we'll talk about that race in a bit. I'll swing round to you, the Old Roan later on. So that's Calico for us both, and a couple of nice bets from the comments there. Right then, so the last race we're going to look at, and this could be a quicker than all. Friday's a little bit of a quiet day, I think. There might be a couple of bits in the anything else section later on. But we want to look at Saturday really. But the 3 o'clock is obviously the the Novice Hurdle. You've got Gail Marler in here. Obviously, Henry Brooks on board. He's back from his injuries. He has a couple of rides, and he's in on this favourite. Keeps the ride on them for the Paul Keatley team. Brave Knights in here for Nichols. Who's going to dare back that? Not too sure. Valgrand for the Skeltons, and 16-1 bigger the rest. Is this the double then? Is it Pat Daru and Gail Marler? Rich, what are you thinking?
I mean, yeah, that's probably the bet on the Friday, isn't it? The first two, Gala and Path Daru. Yeah, I mean, I think she's got the best form. She's rated £8 higher than anything else in this race. Henry's on board doing the steering. Another positive. I just think she wins. Yeah. If I was going to play an each way sort of price, I'd probably go for Valgrand for the Skeltons. I think looking back in his bumpers, I think he finished second to the Kemble Brewery for the Kim Bailey. I think it is. I think that's a decent horse. That won the other day. So yeah, I think potentially that's one to keep an eye on for the season, and might even, if you want to do the forecast, that might be the forecast of sort of go. But I think Gail Marler, I think, is pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, I do think he just wins. I mean, I just mentioned about Skeltons there, but this one has had a run, and his form has been franked. The second was a horse called Dodge Along that come out and won the other day at Chepstow, if you remember. So you could maybe have that one chase him home. I think Gail Marler, though, has got she's got her conditions. She's got good ground. I think she just goes and wins. It's a short price, but I think she's deservedly going to get another win. She's been obviously a really good horse for the connections. I mean, the string of ones next to her name is just brilliant. She's now rated 135, and I think there's nothing in here, to be honest, that's going to get anywhere close to her. So yeah, as Tom's put in there, Gail Marler bolts up, put it in double. Yep, I think if you want to back Pat Daru, if you think that horse wins, just stick Gail Marler in that. What else we got here, Tom? My best bet for tomorrow is Fiercely Proud in the last £10 claimer riding. I got 11 to 4 this morning. Nice. We might chat about that later on as well. In the anything else section, I know is it conditionals jockey where they all get chuffing?
Something like that, yeah.
Tons of weight and stuff. Gail Marler bolts up here. Had a pleasure of seeing her at Market Raising this summer. Nice Harrison. Yeah, she's a fantastic horse. So what's James put? Fave wins 3 o'clock. Hopefully got it in a double. Oh yeah, well there you go. 2-1. Pat Daru double. Pat Gail Marler double. It's gonna bolt home in it. I'll be shocked if it doesn't win. Absolutely shocked. I'm talking myself into absolutely lumping. My £3.22 I've got in my account on it. Right, so that was the 3 p.m. Novice Hurdle. So we're going to move on now, Rich. It's a shame
So
Joe's not going to get on by the looks of it. I mean, I'll just tell a little bit of a funny story. We were putting prices up, me and Rich, of whether he'd actually make it. And he started, what did he start? I think he started off at 13 to 8, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he's gone off 1 to 6 on, not to make it on. Unfortunately, it was a final fence faller. Fell at the
He's in
final
the
flight.
comments, though, isn't he? He's in the comments. He's
Oh,
watching.
is he? Look. Joe Walmore. Good evening, Joe. Thanks for tuning in, mate. Henry to be motionless. Gutted it's not working, lads. I know, mate. I know. What can you do? That's just what happens sometimes, mate. You need to get it sorted ASAP. Max Walker, what do you think of San Salvador against Pat Drew? You mentioned that one, didn't you, Rich?
Not San Salvador, no.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to give it much of a chance, Max, to be honest. I think the only way Pat Drew probably loses is by falling, but
I mean, he's the main danger. He might have the speed, maybe. We'll see. I just think Path Drew is just.
I just think it'll be like a man Mozzie style. He'll just cruise past him, but you never know. Right, moving on now to the Saturday, guys. We're going to move on. What's he putting here? James put part-time. Yep, Joy's a part-time. He's not actually come on the show for the jumps yet, and he was giving it big and thinking he was going to be, well, come on, kick off, did he?
Yeah,
brilliant show as always. Cheers, Joe. You're massively missed, mate. I promise you. Right, 2:20 then. This is jumping over to Saturday. This is the Handicap Chase just over 3 mile and a furlong. Broadway boys in here. Currently his favourite, Senior Chief 13 to 2, Some Scope 13 to 2, Lamanglas 10 to 1, bigger the rest. Are you going to go with your favoured Broadway boy here, Rich? Are you going to take him on at some sort of price?
I mean, I've gone through it, and there's not a lot that stands out to me. I mean, I like Kondo Kwetu, but I think he's at his highest mark. I think he needs to be dropped a few pounds to start winning again. So yeah,
that means them, don't you?
He's going to bolt up. But no, I'm just going to go with the Broadway boy. You know, he's got a good record around Cheltenham. I think his record stands at first, second, first. I'm sure there was a couple of excuses after the new year where he finished third at Warwick. I think it was stomach ulcers. And then obviously he didn't really do anything at Aintree, but he's starting the season off fresh. Yeah, I just liked him last year. Did he run in open company? Or did he run off top weight, I think, last year in another some sort of handicap?
He run in the thingy, didn't he? I can't remember now.
But yeah, I just think out of all of them, he's probably the classiest horse. And yeah,
he watched the Florida Porter on this card last year, didn't you remember as well?
Yeah, he's just one of my favourites. Like I say, his Cheltenham record is good. He's freshened up now. I just think, I think he's the classiest beast. So that'll do for me.
Yeah, I think. I mean, he's seen a little bit of money in it. He's probably a worthy favourite, to be fair. Can he do it off off top weight, giving plenty of weight? Well, he's not off top weight, actually. Does he? No, he's off 152. But yeah, high in the weights. Could he do it? I don't know. I mean, if he does it, fair enough. But it'll be interesting. Oh my God, James, get out of my head in the comments. You're going to laugh at this. So he's put here, unanswered prayers. Got us covered for Broadway, getting involved papers. My selection is actually unanswered prayers, and I quite like this. I think this is quite an interesting horse. This, I mean, you can get. Well, it says 16 to 1. You get 16s, 14s here, 4 places, and yeah, he just interests me a little bit. He's obviously got fitness on his side. He's off 127 last year's winner. Waka Clan went off 125. He's obviously will definitely appreciate this good ground. I mean, do we think Broadway Boyles will appreciate the good ground? It could be something that maybe takes them off the feet a little bit, but I mean, unanswered prayers, it is a little bit of a step up in class for him, obviously. You know, going against some nice, well-talented horses, but you know, before he had a wind up 3 runs ago. It's his 4th run. It seems to be like he's been improving with each run, so I think he's bubbling to the surface for a decent run for Chris Gordon. Yeah, he's won at Cheltenham before. He won it off a pound higher, so he goes well at the course. Ground's fine, trip's fine. He gets a lot of weight. I just thought with 4 places available, he would want to have a little bit of a cheeky little each way on. So James obviously on the right page with me. John's on. Good evening, John. Hello, boys. Broadway boy, favourite place. Will he run like the start of the last season or the end? Very, very good question.
Start of the season, he'll run fresh, and he will win.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Tom Leach again. Paul Nichols has taken his horses out of Saturday's races. Isn't great, is it? No, I mean, it makes you wonder. Have they got an issue in the yard? Is something going on? Who knows? Have they got a bug? Are they having the jabs? God knows. Something's going on. Something we'll probably never know, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I'd probably staying clear, to be honest, of most of his. But yeah, so yeah, Broadway boy for Rich. And Joe, if you're listening, you want to put your selection in the comments, you can do. You know, if you're still on, or if you've got bored of us. And I'll go for unanswered prayers each way. I think 4 places, 16 to 1 is not a bad price. So yeah, I'll take the chance on that one. Right then, Rich, we're moving on swiftly. It's going to be a nice short and sharp show again. So we're going to go to the 255 now. This is a Pertemps Qualifier. Over 3 mile. Obviously, with the new rules in place, if you win this, you're guaranteed a spot in the final. So you'd like to think there's going to be horses going to try and win and not just sneak into fourth. You've got the Wall Park in here for Gordon Elliott. He sends one over. Zane Knights for the Wadham team. Al Gasparo for Cromwell. Gold Road for the Twist and Davis team. Botos has in here for the Gary Moore and Josh Moore team at 10 to 1 and sort of 11 to 1 bigger the rest, mate. You've obviously got a nice little line to this race. What are you thinking, Rich? In fact, Joe's gone Broadway boy. Wins from the front. Fair enough. 2 for Broadway, 1 for unanswered prayers. Go on then, mate. Who's your pick for the Pertemps Qualifier? First one of the season.
I'm gonna throw my dart at Supreme Gift for, is it Henry Daly? Harry Cobham's taking the ride. Yep. He's a horse that basically only runs well on good ground, and the current description is good. There's not a lot of rain about. He's finished 3rd at the course in April off £1 higher. I mean, he's previously a 6-length winner at Ascot off 129. Like you say, I think a lot of trainers probably will start wanting to win these sort of races because the winner gets in automatically now, regardless of what sort of rating they are. So, yeah, I just think ground conditions, if they do want to qualify for the Pertemps, they need to be qualifying in this sort of race before the winter ground comes. Because as soon as the ground turns soft, this lad will not be running in it. So I think he'll be primed and he should run a big race.
Very nice, mate. So Max agrees with you. Max Walker's on Supreme Gift as well. Well done,
Very
mate. I like
knowledgeable
that. We've got Harrison's in with Gower Road for the Twist and Davis team. Yeah, we've got a good chance. James is on Zane Knights. Yep, in good form as well. Pretty good form. What's Tom put here? He's put, I have no idea in this Pertemps race. I'll be at the back. Yeah, I think that's what many of us will be. But yeah, it's a tough race, like Joe's put there. Very tough, these qualifiers, especially early season. You know, excuse me, it's 3 mile too. It's good ground. It's early season. It's one of them, innit? A lot of these coming off a break, some having a run, blah, blah, blah. I just thought I'd take a chance on one, me. So I tried to look down the market. And I've actually landed on a horse called Hardy Boy for the Ben Pauling team. Ben Jones is on. He's already had a decent winner for me this season in that Chepstow opening meet. I forgot the chuffing horse's name now. Won first race. Good price. Anyway. So yeah, I've gone for Hardy Boy. He's off 129. Last year's winner was off 126. Last year's winner off 129. He's just about, well, he's off bottom weight pretty much. He's actually rated 120, but he's having to race off a little bit higher. But he's one of them that's been running. He's had a couple of runs already. He's been running over the summer. He's had a couple of wins, a couple of decent places, sort of improving as he goes. And they've sort of chucked him in off bottom weight, and I just thought at 16 to 1, it looked like a decent little bet. I thought again, you'll get extra places. And he enjoys a good ground. All his wins have been on good ground as well. So I think it's a little bit of a good ground specialist in here. So it's one of them. It's such a tough race to call. So just have a dart at one and see what happens. But yeah, James is putting here. He's put, shut up, James. That was my second choice. I couldn't decide between Zane and that. Well, you're on Zane now, James, and I'm on Hardy Boy. Promise you we haven't been talking. It's pretty weird that, but yeah, just thought it looked like a bit of an each way. Again, 16 to 1 is not a bad price each way. You might stick into fourth. You never know. It's still profit, isn't it? But yeah, Hardy Boy for me for Ben Paulin and
Supreme
Gift for Rich. Cobden on board. It's good in it, Cobden. Can't beat him.
The best.
Right, moving swiftly on. This could be another quick one next, but it's obviously the main race on the Saturday. And it's the Masterson Hurdle over 2 mile. Now, I think a couple of us probably had a bet in this already and was a little bit nervy towards the end of the declarations because it didn't exactly put this horse in his own sort of time, did he? But yeah, Bottle of Secrets in here for Cromwell, which is the one where kind of got declared late on. But yeah, give me 5s in here for Durnant team. Dodge Along, they also mentioned earlier, actually, that Frank won at Chepstow. Again, Cobden on board. Hastily slowly at 16 to 1, bigger the rest. We obviously spoke about this race, Rich. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, but I think Bottle of Secret just wins this, don't they?
Again, I mean, he's the highest rated. Closest to him, I think he's rated 129. He's rated 142. I mean, he's got to give away, I think, £8 to the majority of the field. I just think he wins. I mean, he's second at Punchestown is far superior form. I mean, 1.5 lengths behind Cargies. Nürburgring in second, in third, sorry. He's come out and won since. Yeah, again, I just think Cromwell has probably been targeting this and looked at it and thought, yeah, want to win. I mean, the ground's going to be a question mark, obviously. That's the only question you're going to have with this lad, but I just think he's classy enough and should get the win.
Yeah, I mean, Joe's put a comment up here. He's put, he didn't help telling me Salvo was declared. Yeah, I told him the Salvo had been declared when he was adamant that he answered that. I did a little bit of fun with that. But yeah, I think Bottle of Secret is just way ahead of these. I think he's already beaten. Give me a 5 by a mile. And I don't think, even giving the weight away now, I don't think he's going to reverse that form, to be honest. So we'll keep that short and sweet. Could probably double him, put him in a treble with what Pat Drew and Pat Drew Game Mailer and Bottle of Secret is the treble of the muggy treble of the weekend. Harrison's put, if he isn't beating these, only giving £8 away, I'll be very surprised. And yeah, he should be beating these, really, let's be honest. I think it's a penalty kick with a clear round and another smooth winner for Keith Donoghue. Right, moving swiftly. I'm going to do one more race on the Saturday. Then we're going to have a quick look at the Old Roan. And then we're going to do anything else. Richard's normally got a list as long as his arm, or he has been doing it flat.
I've got a few, actually. Yeah, I've started to come through now.
James has put hasty slowly, very good on the good ground. Right, it could be one to look at then at an each way price. I like that, James. Right, moving on then to the last race on the Saturday that we're going to look at. And it's the 405 and Novice Chase. Now, I like one in here. I really do. And I'm going to back Highland in this for Nicky, for Endo, good old Hendo. And like I said to you earlier, Rich, he won the Pertemps race on this card last season, absolutely bolted up. And I think he could be primed for another run. He's already had 2 chase starts. He's he goes well fresh. He won last year off a break. No issue with the break whatsoever. He really enjoys good ground. He's won on good ground. He's run well on good ground. And I think his first 2 chase starts, he won his first one. And they've been over 2.5 mile. He won his first race, jumped really well off the front. Fine for me. Got beat second time by a horse called Risking the Ground. He just got a little bit outpaced. He tried to take them all on, but he just got a little bit took off his feet, I think. But the step back up now to 3 mile for this race, or 3.5 miles a furlong, will be ideal for him. And I just think he's one of them. If he gets going off the front, he'll just keep going and going and going. And I'm hoping that he's got the staying power to beat these. I thought Theatre Man's coming off a break of nearly 200 days, so I'm not really a fan of him. Elliot sends Yeet Star over, who's had a run, but soft ground, hasn't really performed on good ground, and yeah, I'm not too fussed for the rest. So for me, Highland, I mean, he's only opened up Hills have only got it priced up at 4 to 1. I've took a little bit of that, thanks to Rich helping me out with the account there. But yeah, Highland for me, probably going to be a nap at weekend as well for me. Is that 4-1's a good price, I think, for Highland, who's won on the card last year, goes well at this time of year. And yeah, offer marker 141. I think he can win. What about yourself?
I mean, I didn't have a really strong opinion in this, and then you told me about Highland, so I'm just going to get on board and go with that and agree with everything you just said. Because, like I say, not a massive opinion for myself when I originally looked through it. But yeah, there's no reason why he shouldn't go and win. So I'm happy to join you on that.
Yeah, if you go back and watch that Pertemps race last year, I mean, I know it were on good to soft. I think it might have even been soft, but he absolutely bolted up. And he's took well to chasing. If you go back and watch his 2 chase runs, bar maybe odd 1 or 2 little novices sort of, flicking over him. He jumped pretty well most of the time. Just he took it the last time. He got a little bit outpaced, but then stayed on again. And I think they just took him off his feet a little bit. But back up to just over 3 mile, I think it'll be right up his street. And I'm hoping with a clear round, he can dominate this in a little bit of a smaller field. So yeah, fingers crossed. He does that. What's Joe put here? Big 4-1 nap. Come on, Highland. Come on, lad. Come on. Let's have it. Right then, Rich. We're going to move on now to Sunday. And we're going to have a look at the Old Roan. Now, if you remember correctly, last season, it was Hitman's time to pull up. We had low sun. We had about 10 chuffing. Hey up, Jack's jumped on, racing interest. Yeah, boys. Where's Ginge? Well, mate, he just keeps letting the team down, mate. He keeps not turning up, don't you, Joe? What you got to say for yourself, Joe? What you got to say for yourself, mate? Yeah, so last year we had loads of fences taken out and Jitwal won it.
Nice flat race, wasn't it, in the end?
And it was basically a flat race. Correct, Jackie is a liability. He's just letting the team down. It's piss poor, to be honest, but I'd let him off the first time, but when it's second, third, fourth, fifth time, it's like, what do you do?
He's going to be a special guest. That's what we're going to change him to.
I know,
special guest this week.
Special guest, so he turns up when he wants. In fact, I'm going to put a fine. I might start a fine system. So we start a fine system, Rich. Something like, what do you think? 100 quid to us both if he misses a show. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea, me. Right then. So the Old Roan Protectorate in here. His favourite, Stage Star, joint favourite now, Manila Drama for McCain, Ahoy Signor, Chasing Fire, Marble Sands, Colonel Harry, Hitman, and 14-1 bigger the rest. Who wins this, mate? What's Tom put here? Must be a No Gingers podcast. Yeah, well, if it comes on, I'll just block out his face. Currently on the way home from work, getting home at 11. I do apologise. These lads are giving us great content. Correct, mate. At least we're holding out for. I think we're doing all right. Sounds good anyway, I hope. Later on, the ASMR version will be out on Spotify. Since the missus got me this little microphone, just makes you want to whisper. Right, Rich. Who are you on here then, mate? John is on Stage Star. No problem. Do you agree with him or are you gone somewhere else?
Do you know what? I'm undecided, but can you just imagine if Hitman wins this and turns the Nichols stable form around and they all start firing in?
It's just not happening, is it? And then suddenly the slips for the Ryanair again come flying out.
Start coming back out.
I was adamant he were going to win that one that MVLM won. He come absolutely swinging, and then just didn't stay enough. It's just.
Have you? Is it safe to say you've completely dropped him this season?
Yeah, he needs to be 2.25 mile. I think he's not quick enough for 2 mile, and he literally doesn't stay a yard over 2 mile, 3 and a bit. Yeah, he's gone now. He's had about 6 wind ups, hasn't he?
Jockey's taken 3 off. Not
for me, I'll let him win. I'll put £1 on him. Just so I can be like, look, I backed him.
Yeah.
I'll be stood there like Usyk like that. Just as Hitman. If Hitman wins, no, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say something daft then. Like, if Hitman wins, I'll bloody shave my head or something. But
your missus wouldn't let you do that.
Tom's put Stage Star, no chance. I'd go Hitman, no chance. So we've got one for Stage Star, one against Stage Star. Who are you with, Rich? Come on.
I don't know. I mean, you've got Ahoy Senor, who's a bit of a nutcase. Obviously, Lucinda's come out and said he's had issues with his feet last year. I assume that's all cleared up. His Aintree form is pretty decent. I mean, did he finish second to Jerry Colombe end of last season? But he's got to carry top weight. Is he good enough to do that? If he's on a good jumping day, then I think he's got a good chance. But you couldn't really trust him. I couldn't trust him. So he's one I'm going to leave. Protectorate. Again, he's probably the classiest in the field. I mean, he won the Ryanair, didn't he? That's going to be his target for the end of the season again. Are they really going to push him out first time for this? I mean, it's worth 45 grand. Maybe Skelton wants the big pot, but obviously he's got bigger targets. Stage out of the three, I think Stage Star is the one I would maybe chance, but the Nichols form is horrendous. But I was there when he won the Paddy Power in November off top weight. I mean, his jumping was class. He just went from the front, and yeah, it was great to see. Actually, I think if he's in that sort of form, I think he could do it. He's the one out the top three that I would potentially take a chance on. Then you've got like this Hitman and all the others. I just don't know if they're classy enough to beat the top three. That makes sense, even with weight. Yeah, Stage Star would be my selection, but it wouldn't be a strong fancy.
So even after everything we've said about the Nichols Yard and first time out, you're going to stick with Stage Star?
Brave.
I think you're very brave.
I mean, you kind of know what Stage Star is about. I mean, he won the.
We know what his form last season's about. We don't know if he's got cold, flu, or what.
I mean, he won first time out last year, didn't he? So you kind of throw in that. So I'm gonna throw a little dart at that, but like I say, it's not a race I'll be going heavily into.
I just hope they're going to jump some fences at least. I'll put some comments up. James has put, if not Unexpected Party, which is my pick, I wouldn't mind seeing Solness win. Think it could be bang there. Yeah, I agree with that. Nice price as well.
I just can't wait for Hitman to win.
As long as Hitman doesn't win, I'm happy. Tomley, it's going to be another weird result. Potentially, you've backed Colonel Harry. Yeah, he definitely does go well fresh. And Harrison has actually put Stage Star from the front as well. Yeah, I mean, for me, Stage Star's obviously got a chance, but just with the whole cloud around Nichols, he wouldn't be having my money personally. Top three could easily bomb out. That's also very true. You know, you got the likes of Ahoy Senor. You don't know what sort of jumping he's going to do. Stage Star, we don't know what he's like. Is he fit? Is he not? Protectorate, I think, is the one I'm probably going to have a bet on, to be honest. I just think it's one of them where it could just be a little bit better than these if he's sort of ready to go. You mentioned there the Ryanair, obviously won it last year. Would it be his target again? It probably is his target, but do you reckon he's good enough to win it again? So do they think he's good enough to win it again? Maybe, maybe not. So do they think, well, let's just try and get him ready and win a pot like this? Do you know what I mean? Something like that. He's obviously got decent form at Aintree. He's got 1143 next to his name, which isn't too bad. And he ran well behind John Bond last time, and he's done all right on good ground as well. He's not done too bad, I believe. Have I got that wrong?
He's not run on good ground. He's run on good to soft. 2022, he finished fourth.
Yeah, you know, I think he'll handle it. I think it's probably the same for all of them, to be honest. But yeah, even though he's off top weight, I just thought he has gone well fresh before, and I think Skelton's are going to be a little bit like, let's just win this, or try and win this with ours, and then work towards maybe later on down the season. I don't think they'll think he's got really a chance of winning Ryanair again. Yeah, if Hitman wins though, you'll never see me again.
You've got Max's commentary. He's on Stage Star.
Yeah, Joe probably on Stage Star. I'd have thought potentially. Nichols is a Hendo looking sort of patch from earlier this season, but obviously we don't know the reason why yet. Yeah, the Nichols thing's weird. He's normally got a few of them running pretty well, but I know he's an odd winner. But yeah, it won't be for me, to be honest. I'll stay clear and I'll stick a bit of money on the old Protectorate. Sweet, right? That's it for that. What we're going to do now is, Rich, we're going to go to the anything else section. where if you've got anything else you'd like to mention for the viewers, what's this? Stage start gets is £4 better off than Pertemps. Yeah, just get a weight swing. Yeah, I don't know. I just think Skeltons are more likely to have Protectorate ready for this race on Sunday than Nichols currently is for Stage Star. So we shall see. Both of them probably end up tailed off out the back. Hopefully not, but yeah. One of us will have the winner, guys. One of us will have the winner. Go on then, Rich. Have you got anything else you'd like to mention for the weekend?
Yeah,
I know
there's a few.
well, but if you'd like to mention what else, go for it, mate.
Yeah, there's a few. I mean, tomorrow you've got the 155. There's Letterson Lily is one I like. Unseated last time at Chepstow, but did finish third behind Flying Fortune at Worcester. And obviously that's come out and bolted up in the Persian War. Sean Bowen takes over. So, yeah, I think that'll be bang there. You've got 10 past 4. Potter's Charm's a horse that I like for Tristan Davis. He won on his hurdles debut last time out. I thought that was quite impressive. Obviously, he's got to step up again, but I think he could be a nice one to follow. Then on the Saturday, you've got what we got here. 145. You got Intense Approach. Obviously, finished second in the Persian War. I thought he was running a pretty decent race, and obviously, I don't know if he got tired or
they all finished pretty tailed off, didn't they? In the end,
I just think he's worth another chance, maybe on the Saturday. I think he's a good horse. Then the 440, the Dancing Tree, is out. That was a horse that Sean Flanagan actually picked as a horse to follow on our shows last year. He won a bumper in Limerick in January by 6.5 lengths on heavy. The second's come out on his hurdles debut. So, again, I think that's one to watch. Again, the ground might be an issue, but I'm happy to give that a chance. Moving away from Cheltenham, I've got
Steady.
Kelso.
Oh, go on then. No, I'm just reading the comments, and James knows for a fact that that's not getting put up.
Who?
I'm not having that. I'm not having that on the Cheltenham Showcase meeting podcast. It can stay in the. It can stay in the comments. Can that, James? You can keep that shite dog to yourself.
Away from Cheltenham on the Saturday, you've got Kelso 135. Tommy's Law is running. I think that's for the Cinder Russell. Let me just check my notes.
All I say is, James, I mean, I'll stick it up. He's put Blanc de Noir at Dundalk 6:30, the nap for tomorrow. If that wins, James, you best be putting a fiver of that in me charity pot. I'll mention that in a bit as well. Carry on. No, as soon as I put
Tommy's Law at Kelso. I just think it's quite interesting that they're sticking with hurdles with this lad. I mean, I'm sure I read somewhere at the start of the season that we're expecting a Novice Chase sort of campaign. So with them going over hurdles still, I just think they want to get a win with this lad before switching to the fences. So I think he's one that's got a good chance. Then you've got Galway. I think Elliott's got a couple of good horses out. The 228, you've got Kish Bank making his hurdles debut. And then in the 3 minutes past 3, Sporting Glory. I think they're going to be two fairly short sort of prices for Elliott. I mean, Sporting Glory won a race. 1 second. Makes debut for Elliott in a race won by. I mean, yeah, Watford Whispers won the same race last year, so whoever comes out of that race potentially might be quite useful. And I think Sporting Glory is going to be at the top of that market for Elliott, so you could have a quick double at Galway on Saturday. And then the last race I've got is the 4:13 for Barry Connell. I'm going to butcher this. High Granchaditho, is it?
Jesus Christ Almighty!
That was horrendous. Anyway,
Right,
the Barry Connell horse.
Worst one, I think.
The Barry Connell horse in the 4:13. Again, he's reverting back to hurdles. His hurdle mark is £10 lower than his chase mark. He's running off 121 on Saturday, and yeah, I think they're just trying to exploit that mark before reverting back to chases. I mean, he beat Percival Leguales by 4 lengths.
Percival Legalois.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. And yeah, that is the last one.
Good job we don't bother with like French recruits, isn't it? Really,
it's very, very much so. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it. Before I butcher any more names, but we'll put subtitles up for anybody that can't understand.
Yeah. The two I've got, there's one at the in the first race at Cheltenham tomorrow, and it's another Hendo one. It's in the air. I quite like his chances tomorrow. He won a race, exited the race before, and he had any amount in hand. I think it's a little bit of a step up in grade for him, but trip and ground are fine. So I think he's got a good chance of winning, and I quite like the horse as well. He's gone to Nicky and he's turned him around a little bit, and he's finding some good form. And the other one was the first race on Saturday. Skelton's horse called Risking the Ground actually beat the one I mentioned earlier. Highland beat Highland in that race, and I think he's got an each way chance. He's stepping back in trip a touch, which I think will work for him, and he's back in a bit more of a bigger field as well. So if he's got a bit more of a pace to aim at, I think he's got a good chance of going close. So he can strike late off a good pace with extra places available. Right, that's it. That's it for another preview. One other thing I'm going to mention is I'm doing a charity challenge. I know it's a bit boring, but I'm doing a bit of a fitness thing. I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter, but if you do win a bit of money off any of our selections, if you follow us in, feel free to chuck a fiver in that. It goes to Hull for Heroes. They're a good charity that help veterans get into civilian life and homeless veterans and all this. They do all sorts of good work. So yeah, if you win a couple of quid, stick a couple of quid in for us. I do massively appreciate it. So that's that bit. The other thing I was going to mention is I've got one here. I don't know if you can see it, but the Cheltenham Tracker Festival Planner from Hacked Up Racing. If you want to get one of them or any other gear off them, I said I'd give it another shout out. But we've got a 20% code, final 20. So if you've got any, I'm going to do press ups on stream. Yeah, that'd be a right laugh. We've got chuffing loads to do. Use a discount code if you want any racing gear. If you're going racing stuff, he does do the best stuff. We don't get any money for that, by the way. It's just we wanted to support him because he does the best gear. And I buy a mug every bloody 6 months with the stuff printed on it. But yeah, that's it then, really, Rich. We're going to be back next Thursday. There'll be another preview, and then we're getting a little bit closer. I think we've got about 10 days or something like that till the first Cheltenham Festival Anti-Post Countdown show. Now, I know there's been a few things mentioned on Twitter about people changing it up a little bit, but we're only going to do, I think it works out at 10 shows this year. We're going to do one every other week. We're going to aim to get these jockeys on. We'll be reviewing the weekend. We'll be reviewing their rides. We'll be getting horses to follow off them, their sort of views on horses for Cheltenham, within the yards that they're associated with, just like we did last year. We had some really good guests on last year. Skelton come on, Jacob, and all these people. And Emery Brook come on, and hopefully we'll get a few returning faces and a couple of new faces this time round. And hopefully it'll be another successful show, and we'll get a few good winners this time round. Quality over quantity. But yeah, I think we do something a little bit different, so hopefully you all enjoy that. What's James put here? Last comment. Why not get a bet between you, Rich and Joe, Trixie or something, and any money made goes to charity? I'm happy to stake for it. Yeah, we'll do a charity bet. We'll get something in our WhatsApp group, and we'll stick it up on Twitter. We'll do a bit of a charity bet this weekend and get that going again, and we could split it between. If these lads have got a charity as well, we could split it between them again and try and win some cash, $5 a piece or something. What do you think, Rich, before we go? Anything else you'd like to say?
I've just realised that Apple Away is running at the weekend.
Oh.
Podcast.
I thought John would be on that. I thought you'd be mentioning it, John. I'm surprised you didn't mention it. Is she running where she's running?
I just noticed, yeah. Kelso on Saturday. I'm sure she's going to run a big race. I think she won.
Hopefully she goes well this year.
So, yeah.
I think Thingy's back soon. Thingy's entered next week. Marine National as well. I think in a Grade 3 chase, it got mentioned on Twitter. Be interesting to see him back. Yeah, I think
hopefully Joe will be back there fighting his cause. Hopefully.
Well, Joe's not going to be here to fight his cause, is he? We're not going to see him. Joe, who do you mean? Another person on this podcast. Don't feel like it. Joe's put, yes, she is, but keeping quiet. Oh, keeping quiet. Oh. Not waiting until after the result. We'll see. Hopefully she runs well for you, John, mate. So yeah, that's it from us then. So please do like the video if you can and subscribe to the channel. We enjoy doing the show. We hope you enjoy it too. We appreciate you jumping in the comments and stuff. It does give it a bit of a flow to it. John says she's carrying near top weight. Well, she might run well. Even if she gets beat, she runs well. It'll set her up for the season, won't it? So fingers crossed. Yeah, we'll be back next Thursday night. Everything will be posted on Twitter, the information and stuff. So yeah. Like and follow, subscribe. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you all next time. See you later, Rich.
Yeah, Goodbye.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you, and good night.